Gritty Dungeons and Dragons is a rule. It's an alternative rule that changes short and long rest. A short rest becomes 8 hours, a long rest becomes a week. Now, on the surface, this looks very frustrating, but there's no difference between this and standard Dungeons and Dragons short rest and long rest. But Richard, a short rest is normally an hour or two, depending on what your table is. A long rest is simply 8 hours. It's a huge difference. No, it's not. The adventuring day in Dungeons and Dragons is somewhere between 3 and 8 encounters, depending on difficulty level, right? And so all that you're doing with grittiness is taking the pacing and changing it. The time frames are the same, as in you still have that many encounters. It just allows each encounter to have more weight to it. Meaning, for games that have only 1 or 2 encounters per day, gritty realism makes a lot of sense. That way, a week's time frame would be the adventuring week as opposed to the adventuring day. And then the players take a week off to recover. And if they have to do something within that week. Now, as a dungeon master, if you just keep throwing things at your players, they never get a recharge. Gritty realism is a game where the pacing is slowed down. That's all that it is. That's the only thing that it changes. If we're changing how short and long rest works, what we're trying to do is make the encounters that we have that we're putting in front of our players carry more weight. Meaning, in gritty realism, if I attack a goblin group and I get injured, that's more problematic. I can't just refresh my hit points. I'm going to have to use magic or use a healing kit, and I can only do that so many times. And we're utilizing those resources more often. This works very well for campaigns where you have downtime, where we go out and do something, then we come back and we have downtime activities. Very effective. And when that becomes part of the game, it doesn't slow your game down. It makes the encounters have more weight. That's really what the difference is. But yes, it does slow the pacing of the game down for encounters only. You can hand wave a long rest still, just like we do. You sleep throughout the night. You guys long rest throughout the week. You guys collect the supplies you need for your next adventure. Maybe you're doing research into your next adventure. Maybe your long rest is the role-playing session. A long rest can just be that you're around town. It doesn't mean you're stuck inside doing nothing. It changes the dynamic of the long rest. Just no extraneous activities, no spell casting, those kinds of things during those 5, 6, 7 days, whatever it may be. So remember, gritty realism doesn't change the game as far as the balancing and all that kind of stuff. It just changes the pacing. The adventuring day is an adventuring week. The time to recover is longer, and you spend more time doing downtime. Same game, same difference. The difference is simply pacing. And I know that seems huge, but it's kind of a semantics thing. I wish you the best of luck.